What's up, Turdlings? Today we're doing a walkthrough for the intro of Season 1, as well as some tips and tricks along the way. My server is just starting day 4, and as you can see in the rankings here, I'm currently in rank 1 for the block race, and I'm about to show you how to get there. Turd Tips by Turd Nugent. So when the countdown timer to Season 0 finishes, you're going to need to restart your game. And when you enter, you'll be thrown into a whole new map. You will be placed in a level 1 city region with the rest of your alliance. If you have a very large alliance, some players might overflow into neighboring regions, but you will all be together. Your alliance's first objective is going to be taking your first level 1 city. You can take the city that you spawn next to. However, if there are alliances on both of your borders, especially enemy alliances, your leaders may want to consider capturing a different city somewhere else on the map, as you're going to need some space to grow and spread out as you progress in the beginning of the server. Capturing your first city will work just like it did in Season 0, with the exception that you won't be able to place siege camps around the border of the city. However, you're only taking a level 1 city, so it should be pretty quick and easy. Your team should not have a problem with it. Once you capture your first city, you're going to notice that some of the tiles around the city will be highlighted. Your team is going to have to send a truck to those tiles, and you'll have to create a path across the tiles to these mines here. There are 2 colors of mines, red and blue. Each provide the corresponding color of resource for your team. Your objective is for everybody on your team to start capturing level 1 tiles as soon as possible. You're not going to need too many level 1s, as the tiles, when you capture them, will provide some resource, as well as by owning the tile, it will provide hourly resource as well. Your goal with capturing these and utilizing the resources is to build buildings onto them, which will enable you to start capturing higher level resources. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So once you capture a tile, you can click on it and you will have this build option show up. Once you click into that menu, there's going to be 2 different menus in this screen, basic and buff. I would just ignore buff for now, as you're not going to need that for a little later, probably day 2 or 3 into the new season. So within basic, you're not going to have most of these when you start out. You'll initially start out with Clinic 1 and Hub 1. The clinic will enable you to capture higher level mines, and the hub allows you to capture more blocks on the map, 5 per level up. The blocks, you initially start out with 20 of them. So as you path on the map, you'll only be able to capture 20 spots, blocks, tiles, whatever you want to call them. You'll be able to capture 20 of them until you upgrade your hub. So you and your teammates are going to use these 20 to create a path to that first level 1 resource, capture that, continue progressing so other people can capture level 1 resources. Then you'll be using those resources to build your first building. You're first going to want to start out focusing on building the clinic. The clinic is going to be what enables you to capture higher level mines, which is extremely critical. Your goal is to race to being able to capture level 3 resources. It's not going to take you that long. You should probably be able to get there within the first hour at most, probably. And once you're able to capture level 3s, you want to be capturing as many as possible. As you progress through pathing, you can delete the paths behind you. Just click on it and hit this little X button. You only need one square to be able to build off of, and you can continue pathing. And once you capture the next block along your path, you can delete the old ones. There is a timer before they are deleted, about 10 minutes. So you want to make sure you are consistently deleting the blocks that you no longer need to control, and just be heading to the resources that you're trying to progress towards. A couple important things to note: when you build your first building, you should be building it on top of a resource, not an empty block. If you build it on top of an empty block, you will not be able to drop that block. If you build it on top of a resource, you'll still control that resource and still be getting the hourly output from it. So this makes everything more efficient in terms of use of your limited number of blocks that you're able to control. Also, once you capture your first level 2 resource, you're going to have the option to upgrade your level 1s. I would not worry about this option, as you're only going to have one construction queue, and you need to use that construction queue to constantly be upgrading your clinic and your hub. Your clinic is going to be your most important upgrade, followed by your hub. I would not build anything in that construction queue until you get to level 5 resources, which is probably going to be around day 2, maybe day 3 for you. Once you control some blocks and some buildings, you can go into this menu on the right side of your screen here and see the different buildings and blocks you control. With blocks, you'll have empty spaces all the way at the bottom. So here you can go in there to drop them. Likewise, when you start taking higher level mines, you can drop your lower level ones to open up some of your block capacity so you can continue pathing and taking higher level mines. For your buildings, let's assume your hub is sitting on a level 1 and you're taking level 3s, and your block capacity is full and you need to open up that level 1 so you can take a level 3. You can relocate your buildings onto different blocks that you control. It takes 3 minutes to drop a building and then 30 minutes to reconstruct a building. However, for your hub and your clinic, you will lose the effect of that building for a short period of time, but once you start constructing it on a new block, you will regain the effect of that. So if you drop your clinic, you're not going to be able to capture new resources until you start construction on rebuilding that clinic. Once that 3-minute timer for dropping it is up, just simply click on another block you control, go to build, and you'll have the option in here to rebuild that clinic. Abandoning a building does not cause you to lose the levels of that building. It will maintain its levels when you rebuild it, so don't worry about that. Just keep progressing to taking higher level tiers. When you capture a block, you also get some resources as well. So this is going to help you continue to keep your construction queue going and keep upgrading your hub and your clinic. Specifically for the clinic, after you've captured level 1s and when you've progressed on level 2s and higher, there's going to be a required immunity level. As we can see, this level 3 requires 160 immunity. You're going to be starting out at 0 immunity, and upgrading the clinic is going to be giving you immunity. What immunity does is if you are insufficient, you're going to see a percentage here. So if I click on a level 7, I have insufficient immunity to capture it. So what this is going to do is it's going to cause the enemies to deal increased damage to my troops, and it's going to cause my troops to deal reduced damage to the enemies. Now, this enemy's CP is lower than mine, so if it wasn't for these reductions, I could easily defeat this team. However, with the reductions, right now, I'm not able to capture this particular level of block. I will be in my next upgrade or so. You don't have to have the full number that it says. You just have to be able to capture that block with the percent changes that are caused by your immunity. So you can typically be 1 to 2 clinic levels below what you need to be at to have that specific number of immunity. In my next upgrade for my clinic, I will have 820, and I will be able to capture this one even though the immunity on level 7s shows 900. So you can take that and translate it to whatever tier you are at. Like in a level 3, it takes 160. You can probably capture level 3s around 120 immunity. I should also note that upgrading your buildings is going to take both color of resources. So you do want to make sure that as you are progressing, you're keeping your hourly output of each resource fairly similar, as you're going to be needing both resources to do your upgrades. So you'll want to keep an eye on your balance of red versus blue that you own and make sure they stay fairly balanced to one another. Now let's take a look at a comparison of different levels of mines. So a level 1 gives you 10 resources when you capture and 10 per hour. A level 2 is going to give you 20 per hour and 20 when you capture. A level 3 is going to give you 40 per hour and 40 when you capture. Now these numbers are going to continue doubling until you get to level 5s. After level 5, it stops doubling. So level 6s will start giving you 20 per hour more than level 5s do. So a level 5 is 160. A level 6 is only 180. So as you can see, level 5s are where we want to race to. Initially, you want to race to level 3s and start capturing as many level 3s as possible. You should be able to get to level 3s pretty easily. You're not going to need too many level 1s and 2s to do your clinic upgrades to be able to start capturing level 3s. Once you get to level 3s, it's going to take a bit more time, and you're going to have to be capturing quite a few level 3s in order to do those level ups on your hub and clinic in order to start taking level 4s, likewise with level 5s. In order to progress as fast as possible at the start of this season, the clinic is going to be your number 1 priority building, as that is the building that's going to enable you to capture higher level mines. The hub is also important, as that is going to enable you to continue pathing. It's not quite as important as the clinic, so the clinic should be your number 1 priority until you get to level 5s. Once your alliance has enough players that have captured level 3s, you can start looking at taking your next city. Your next city is going to be level 2, and it requires slightly more immunity, about 1 clinic upgrade more immunity than capturing a level 3 will take. So before your team starts capturing level 4s, your alliance should be capturing their second city. As you can see, capturing the second city has some good rewards as well. It'll also get your alliance more territory. So it's really important for your alliance to continue capturing additional cities, as well as when you capture higher level cities, you unlock new buildings to build. If my memory serves me correctly, capturing your first level 2 city is going to unlock your second clinic, and your first level 3 city is going to unlock your second hub. Your second clinic and second hub are going to cost more resources and take more time for the level of upgrades than your first ones did, but they're still extremely critical for progressing in the season. So your alliance wants to be capturing these new level of cities as fast as possible. You also want to be progressing across the map, capturing more and more cities as much as possible, dropping your old cities similar to season 1 because you want to be getting those capture rewards. Once you're capturing level 5s, your priority now becomes upgrading your hub so that you can capture more level 5s as opposed to upgrading your clinic to be able to capture level 6s. The reason for this is because level 6s don't give you many more resources than level 5s do. You still will want to chase those level 6s, but your number one priority is to upgrade your hub and get more level 5s to increase your hourly resource output. This switch at level 5 is what is going to enable you to climb the ranks to the top, as a lot of players are still going to be chasing level 6s and they're going to be inefficient with their resources in doing so. They might have downtime in their construction queue because they spent all their resources and they haven't upgraded their hub to increase their hourly output enough to keep up with the cost of construction. Whereas you upgrading your hub, you'll be capturing 5 more blocks every time you upgrade that hub, so you'll be getting those capture rewards to increase your resources, and you will be increasing your hourly output. Now, going from level 5 blocks to level 6 blocks takes about 3 upgrades of the clinic, and it's going to get you about 1,000 extra resources per hour once you have upgraded your clinic 3 times and replaced all of your level 5s with level 6s. Whereas 1 upgrade of the hub is going to get you almost that same amount of resources. So you can do 1 upgrade of the hub much faster than you can do 3 upgrades of the clinic. So this is going to be your new priority when you start capturing level 5s. Season 1 will offer you the opportunity to purchase an additional construction queue. You will only start out with 1 construction queue, and it'll be $9.99 US to purchase the second construction queue. You do have the option of using one of the $2.99 discount coupons that you get from the weekend armaments races to reduce that price. Now, is this second construction queue worth it? Pretty much the only thing you're going to be doing with the second construction queue is it will enable you to upgrade your mines as opposed to dropping your lower level ones. So that will save you a little bit of efficiency, as well as you'll be able to move your buildings off of lower level mines while you also have a clinic or hub upgrade going. So that's also going to save you a little bit of efficiency. Over time, that efficiency will add up to maybe a half a day of time saving from the construction queue. So that's not bad, but considering that's going to be over a period of like 3 or 4 days, it's not super efficient. You're going to have a lot of downtime with that construction queue. This is mainly due to resource costs. You are typically not going to have enough resources to upgrade 2 clinics or a clinic and a hub at the same time until you are around level 6 mines. The other option of what you can use your additional construction queue for is these additional buff buildings here. Now, there are some decent buildings in here, however, none of them are as good as just building your clinic and your hub and keeping those upgrading. Also, keep in mind, these are going to cost your resources to upgrade. So the more of these you're building and upgrading, the more you're taking away resources from potentially upgrading a clinic or a hub. So I don't find these buildings to be super worth it. If you are going to be building these buildings, I would recommend only building ones and doing upgrades that have a lower resource cost to construction time ratio than your output of resources. What this is going to enable you to do is utilize your construction queue while increasing your resources by the end of that construction. What you really don't want to be doing is doing an upgrade that costs more resources than you can produce in that amount of time, because that's really going to be setting you back from progressing to higher level mines, capturing more mines, which is going to get you more resources so that down the road you'll have no problem upgrading these additional buildings. So I wouldn't worry about these too much in the beginning. Definitely don't be spending resources on these before you get to at least level 5 mines. I would even hold off till level 6 or 7 mines. As we can see, level 4 cities don't unlock until about a week into the new season. Until then, the highest level mine you can capture is level 7 mines, so that's where the race is going to end initially. Once you have unlocked and captured level 7 mines, your goal is to continue upgrading your clinic and your hub. Your clinic specifically for when this timer ends and you can capture a level 4 city, but you'll probably want to be upgrading your hub before that so that you can continue capturing more and more level 7 mines and increasing your resource output. During this time is when you might consider building and upgrading those additional buildings that we took a look at before. The final topic that I think is important for us to cover before we conclude is gifting mines. You can gift a mine you control to another player in your alliance, provided they have captured a mine one level lower than the mine you're trying to gift. So if I want to gift somebody a level 6 mine, they have to have captured a level 5 mine. You're able to gift 20 mines a day, and players are able to receive 5 gifts a day. So just click on the mine that you control, hit that little present icon right there. This is going to open up your alliance list, and you just click gift. Now, before sending a gift to somebody, I would make sure to chat with them and ensure that they are ready to receive the gift, and make sure they do accept the gift after you have sent it. You definitely do not want to send off a bunch of gifts, have the players not open them, and then you log offline and all of a sudden people accept 20 gifts that you sent them, and now you have 20 fewer mines to be producing resources with while you're offline and away from the game. So it's really important to make sure that players are accepting gifts right when you send them, and not sending gifts to players who aren't online, etc., because that's really going to hurt you. You can cancel gifting once you've sent a gift. If they haven't accepted it yet, you can click on the mine hit the gift button and it'll ask you if you want to cancel that gift in the gifting queue. Just accept it, and then you don't have to worry about that player taking that mine from you while you're not online. This concludes the tutorial for the intro to Season 1. If you have any questions about what was discussed today or suggestions for any additional content you would like to see on this channel, be sure to let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to support this channel. To all you Turdlings out there, thank you for watching and stay solid.